Did you know that there is a course called Women Who Lead where you get to spend hours with me learning how to make every interaction safe, logical, fun, and memorable? Doesn't that sound like a great way to spend some time? It will put tools in your tool belt that will change your trajectory. Give it a shot. Go to www.aimwithus.com and click on courses. I can't wait to see you there.
Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy, the recap. So, every week I get more excited about the brilliant people that are landing in my lap and are showing up and giving us things to chew on, things to think about, and ways to create more productive joy. It has been such a fun journey, and you're on it with me. And if you're not following, let's do that because I want you to be on this journey with me. I want you to know when all of these brilliant people are coming and get excited about the next episode because you never know what you're going to get. So this week I had two fabulous, different, but aligned, I guess, humans. So I had Tracy LaLonde and Dr. Lenka Shulze. So Tracy, she's a chief joy achiever. She has coined that phrase, joy achiever, because she used to be an achiever only and then realized, wait a minute, there's no joy in this, and I need there to be both. And I think of all the things that we can take away from this journey, that's a big one, is that you can achieve while having joy at the same time. Those do not have to be mutually exclusive. Well, you hear me say that all the time, that fun and work do not have to be mutually exclusive. I think we need to bring more joy into the workspace. I think we also need to recognize that achieving something is not necessarily the end game that we're looking for. Maybe it is more about finding the happiness and the excitement along the way. So one of the things that I'm learning on this podcast is that most people feel like happiness is fleeting and joy is a choice. The semantics, right? Like we could interchange those, I suppose, but I like those definitions because when we think about it, I'm happy for a moment, but being joyful is something I can choose to do every day. I am not saying that every day is perfect and that there are never any problems and I don't ever get annoyed. That's simply not true. But what I don't choose to do is let that annoyance, that frustration, that thing that is getting on my nerves to stop me from finding joy. That's not okay with me. I want to continue to find joy. So Tracy and I had a whole lot in common. I appreciated all of the great things that she said and that she talked about. But the one I'm going to latch on to for today's recap is really about getting clear with your values and then figuring out what your strengths are that lead to those values. So way back when on our very first episode, Jonathan Grant Brown talked about your skills and your habits have to line up. And I feel like this is similar to that. First and foremost, can you tell me what your values are? Are you clear about them? Do you know what they are? Can you recite them? Are they something that are common to your daily routine? If they're not, chances are good you're going to get distracted and a lot of things are going to pull you in other directions. So if we're trying to create productive joy, then our goal in that might be to be thoughtful about doing things that help push us towards our values every single day. I don't know what yours are. Mine include definitely, let's see, how values specifically family. And I'm making a face because I feel like there are friends we choose to have as family, and then we have our family that we either chose because we got married, then married into because they came with the package or birthed, right? So family is a little bigger net. But when I say family, it's really about, am I putting them first? Am I recognizing that everything I'm doing is for them and that if it takes me away from them, is that a choice? And am I okay with that choice? I think that faith is another big one for me, and that's my faith in Jesus and also my faith in humanity as a whole, in people, in doing things right and well. I think that's an important value as well. And then health for me is one. And that one has always been there, but it's definitely bubbled to the surface probably in the last, let's say, 10 years, where I was paying attention to how I feel and what I'm doing to make sure that every morning I can get up and be my best version of myself, right? What are your values? Can you be clear about them? And then what does that look like from there? I have a dear friend who achievement would be one of her values. And I think it should be because she's achieving amazing things. And yet, just like this, like Tracy taught us, being a joy achiever means that that achievement can't be it. It also has to evoke joy, right? I mean, it's the name of the podcast. For heaven's sakes, we should probably be talking about it. Okay, so great interview with Tracy. And then I had Dr. Lenka Shulze. And Dr. Lenka Shulze is an author who wrote a book about intuition. And it was really an interesting conversation because it was educational for me to think about what all intuition includes. And when I think about learning more about intuition, it's more about being in tune with yourself and who you are and not putting yourself in a box. And I've had several guests recently who have reminded us that if we're in a box, that's probably our own doing, right? Like we have put ourselves in said box, and it is also up to us to bust out of said box. Both are things we have control over, right? We've talked many times. I know you guys are getting sick of hearing it, but guess what? I'm going to say it again. There is very little we can control. Our sphere of control is teeny tiny, but our sphere of influence is infinite, right? As big as our arms can go wide. But I think that the one thing we can control is ourselves. And sometimes we act like we can't. Yeah, you can. And you should. And we should be thoughtful about what that looks like and how we're handling ourselves all the time. It's just the way I am. Doesn't really cut it anymore. We know better, right? Like, yes, you had terrible things happen to you. And yes, you have big T trauma. And yes, you are justified in being bitter or angry. And it's now a choice. And what you're going to do with that choice is up to you, but it's only hurting you, right? Like sometimes I'll get frustrated with something and I think, this isn't hurting the person that I'm frustrated with. This is only hurting me. Why am I holding on to this? Let's let it go. Yeah, think about let it go, let it go. Yeah, I'm definitely Elsa-ing that. For those of you that don't know, that's a Frozen reference. I don't think you've been living under a rock and would not know that reference. But I want us to learn to let it go. I want us to learn to hold on to what's important and then recognize that we have the ability to break out of the box and do what we want instead of what's being done unto us. Because there's a whole lot of victim mentality that happens. So Leora Arusi taught us to be victors, not victims. And I think what I'm learning from all of these brilliant people is that we're responsible for our own joy. And we can choose to see things as positive or negative. I'm not saying the negative goes away, but where we choose to put our focus is what we're going to see. So my challenge to you today is to figure out where you're going to put your focus. Are you going to look for the joy? Are you going to look for the things that brighten your world, whatever that is, right? Like we recently learned from Janice Kaplan, actually it was back in January that we learned this, so it's been a minute, but that how you hold yourself matters, right? Like how you hold your body, whether or not you're standing up straight or slouched over will determine whether you can pull negative thoughts out of your mind or positive ones. Don't you want to pull more positive? So stand up straight. It sounds really easy. Not. It's simple, but not easy. So I'm going to challenge you today to think about what you're doing right now repeatedly that is keeping you stuck, that is putting you in that box and saying, this box is closed and there's nothing you can do about it. And then I'm going to challenge you to bust out of it. Okay. You can do that. And if you need a little help, I'm here for you 100%. Christie@aimwithus.com is the easiest email to use. You can also look up Productive Joy or Dr. Christie McMullen, and you will find all kinds of things that might help you break out of the box. And whether that's personally, professionally, by yourself, with your team, I can work on all of those spaces and I want to. So let me know how I can help you bust out of that box and create a little more productive joy. Doesn't that sound like fun? I know fun looks different and it's in the eye of the beholder, but I do think that it's fun when we feel valued and appreciated, which I would do for you, when you have a voice and you're allowed to use it. And of course, when you're talents are being leveraged for the greater good. So let's have some fun today, and let's do something even more important with all of this information that we're gaining, and let's figure out a way to turn that fun into action.